Hey guys, it's Leanza. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys a very personal experience that I went through 5 years ago. It definitely changed my view on um, my beliefs in such a positive way. Every time I tell someone this story, they always get like goosebumps, and I always like share it because I feel like it's really important for people to know um, that God is real. So, anyways, so I actually had an experience where I actually knew that God was listening to me. And it reassured me that, like, shoot, I have not been praying for no reason, and all that. So, anyways, okay, so how the story begins is, and by the way, I'm a Christian, so I was raised as a Christian, so yeah. So, anyways, okay, so one day, okay, I'm gonna talk about Oprah. It's kind of random. Okay, so one day I was watching Oprah after school. I would always watch Oprah, like in middle school. I'd always just be like constantly watching it in high school too, after school, because it'd be on, I think, like at 3 o'clock or whatever. So, anyways, one day she had an episode where she was talking about um, how she got to where she was and her beliefs and everything. And I guess she was just praying to God, like, oh, please just use me. I want to be used, like, I want to do something good with my life, and she was just talking about how she was just constantly always praying that. And I mean, now she's Oprah Winfrey, so I don't know. I was like thinking, like, because I just was in love with Oprah, so I totally copied her after that. I was already kind of like into, like reading the Bible. Not really, I was just kind of like, it was just a Sunday thing. I didn't actually put it into my life. So, anyways, after I had watched that episode, um, I was constantly praying. I was just always saying the same thing that Oprah was saying. I was saying, God, please just use me. I want to do something good with my life, which I did. I always wanted to help, like, the poor people, people that are less fortunate, so I just love that feeling of, like, giving, like, I don't care, like, if you need anything, like my shirt, I'm gonna give it to you, type thing. Like, I don't care, I really don't care. So, anyways, so I was just praying and praying and praying. I think I was praying that prayer like 2 months straight, and I honestly was just really feeling like I truly meant it, like, God, I will drop anything you want from my life, and I will seriously go out and do whatever you want me to do. I will seriously travel the world and speak to all these people, for you. I actually I think God probably knew it too. So, anyways, I remember it was my sophomore year of high school. Um, it was Valentine's Day. I'd gone to church with my grandma, Brianna, my sister. I think Trevor was there, my brother, and possibly Austin. I think Austin was there. He's a little rascal. Anyway, so we went to church with my grandma, and it was the ending of the church service. And it was like whenever, like, the pastor does, like, the prayer at the end and everything. And he starts saying something like, he starts pointing out to the crowd. And I was sitting all the way in the back of church, and my church is huge. I want to say at least 500 people go per service. I want to say 500 people. I go to Visalia First Assembly. Um, so anyways, we were sitting all the way in the back, kind of like where they do like the music controllers and all that kind of stuff. And anyways, he was like pointing straight towards like our area, our pastor, and he was just like, there's someone here that God really is like bugging me to like talk to, and like me and my sister were like literally like getting up like gophers, like who's he talking to? Who's he talking to? Because we get excited. It's cool to see stuff like that happen, whenever the pastor feels like he has to talk to someone like from God. So anyways, we were just like looking up, like being nosy, like who's he talking to? I didn't see anyone. So I looked at Brianna, and I'm just still curious. And then he's like, "Oh, it's a young girl. She's behind the guy with the hat on his head." So we're still looking around, like looking for a guy with the hat on his head. And then I see right in front of me, there's a guy with a hat on his head, and then I kind of just like froze up. I looked at Brianna, and I just started shaking, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, like he's talking to one of us," kind of thing, I think, and then, but we still weren't sure. So anyways, we looked straight up, and then the pastor was like, "You just looked at your friend or your sibling or whatever," and then I like made eye contact with him, and he was like, "I'm talking to you." And I'm telling you, there's so many people in this church. Like, he points straight to me, and like I started shaking. I started feeling like, I don't even know how to describe it. I felt like something magical was going to happen to me, which something did, but it's God. It's not magic. It's real life, So anyways, he just starts saying all this stuff and everything. Brianna's just like, "Oh my gosh, like, I'm shaking, I'm crying, but I'm like listening to everything he has to tell me." But he just starts saying like, "I just want to let you know that God's been hearing you say that you want him to use you, and he's gonna use you, and he knows you're gonna do it, and he's like, but you have to be careful because there's gonna be like a lot of trials that get in your way. The devil's gonna try and attack you, but you can't let it happen. You just got to keep your eyes on God. You're gonna do something amazing with your life." Just all this stuff and things that I was just personally sharing with God too, and like only like God knew, but the pastor, like, I honestly believe that God was communicating through him, because like the things that he was saying were the things that I was praying to God, so I totally was just like, "Oh my gosh, like God, you're so real," and after that, my whole praying experience changed. Like, till this day, like, I know God listens to my prayers. I know he listens to your prayers. He truly does listen to us. So I think it's really important that people like know that, so anyways, after that whole situation, we left church, and I just started like, I felt like gold. I don't really know how to like describe it. I just felt, that's as close as I can get to describing it, is that I felt like gold, and I just wanted to like, oh my gosh, like what is it? Like, what am I gonna do? It's like someone gonna randomly come up to me and be like, "Hey, you're going here, or you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that," and everything. So I was just waiting for that to happen. And I kind of started getting a little bit lazy after that. Like with my whole like praying, I'm like, "Oh, God already answered my prayers. I'll just wait and see what he has for me." I didn't continue praying after that. And so strangely after that couple of months, I had the most deepest depression, and I was going to school during this. It was crazy because I was sitting one day in class, and I was reading a book, and it just hit me, and like I ran out of class, didn't know what to do. I was freaking out, I'm just getting really antsy, I'm getting anxiety. I went back in class. I started apologizing to everyone around me. It was the most weirdest thing. Um, and I went home and I was telling my family about this whole like feeling that I was getting, and they're like, "Oh, you're gonna be okay." My mom didn't really like take it too seriously because I think she was just thinking, "Oh, Leanza, she's just a drama queen." So um, the next day, I just started feeling like some black cloud was around me, and I had no idea why. I was just like feeling down. I felt like I just was out of my mind. I wasn't feeling myself. So that just kept going on for about a week straight. My mom was just like this, like, I don't know what to do, calling all her sisters. Um, she even took me to the doctor. My pediatrician, she took me there because she didn't know what to do. She was just like, my daughter's just been crying every single day. She's telling me she's feeling this like dark sadness in her and she can't get out of it. What do I do? And the doctor even told her, like, I'm sorry, I don't know what to do. Like, you're gonna have to take her to like a specialist. My mom didn't want me to take any antidepressants. I didn't want to take anything like that. I was like, nope, 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 nope. I still had my eyes on God too. I was just like, you know what? Like, I'm going to get through this. Regardless of how I feel, I felt like I was just like being tackled, but I felt like I was in a desert almost, and no one could help me. But I was just like, you know what, God's gonna be able to help me. I couldn't even sleep, so sometimes I'd get my Bible out in the middle of the night. I was trying to be quiet because I didn't want to wake any of my siblings up, and I'd go to the living room and open it up and just start rubbing my head in it. I was just like, God, please, like, help me. Just super scared. I didn't know like if I was ever gonna get out of that feeling. And my parents even were like getting scared. They're like, like, we can't do anything, to help her out, you know. But every day my mom was always researching um, online, like foods that help with people that are depressed, um, all this stuff. And I'm so thankful to her and my dad too. My mom would always come during her lunchtime and she'd take me on walks because it's really important that people that are sad, they get the sun, because the sun gives you vitamin D and just all this different stuff. It just, or is it vitamin C? I'm not sure, but it just helps your hormones, so you feel more happier. And then, anyways, it really hit me that I was in deep depression when one day I couldn't go to school. I mean, whenever I was going through this, I was on Christmas vacation, I believe. I was on Christmas vacation, and I had gone back to school for one day, and then I started like freaking out. I'm like, I can't be here. I can't function. So then I stayed at home, and my dad was there. My dad was working night shifts, so he had the morning shifts open. So anyways, he was home with me, and I just started crying to him like, Dad, I don't know what to do. I can't, get out of this. It's not like snapping out. Like, I'm sorry. And I just started rubbing my head because I was like in his room, trying to talk to him. And I just like put my head like on their bed and just start like, Dad, like, help me, please help me. And my dad just starts crying. And I've only seen my dad cry once before. It was whenever my grandma Julie had passed away. And seeing my dad cry, I knew how heartbroken he was that he couldn't help his child, that was feeling such darkness. So he said a prayer for me while he was just like crying, and he was just pretty much like, you're gonna get through this, like, you're gonna be fine, like, but he just felt, I could just feel in his, like that he felt so hopeless, not hopeless, but like helpless. And like, I was just like, man, why am I going through this? Like, nothing Like, I had the kind of depression that someone that got sexually abused, just all like something that went through something traumatic, um, would have, when I like, thank God none of that stuff's ever happened to me, but like, they were saying that, like, did anything happen to you? Did someone do something to you? Like, what is it? Like, it's like, I don't know. Like, I have no idea. I don't know. I hadn't had a boyfriend yet or anything. Like, I was, it was craziness. So, anyways, as days went by, I was starting to lose a lot of weight, but eventually, just praying, going on walks with my mom, um, just staying busy. Even though I mentally did not want to try and get myself better because I just wanted to drown in my sorrow. I was like, you know what? That's the devil trying to get to me. Like, I'm gonna seriously get out of this. So I was just researching, just like my mom, eating like certain foods, forcing myself to eat because I wasn't wanting to eat. um, I started getting better. I started climbing out of it, like climbing out of a dark hole, literally. Like, I felt like that. I was just like, you know what? Feeling better. Oh my gosh, today I laughed. I have not laughed in forever. Like, how exciting, and all that. So, anyways, after that whole situation, I kind of like told myself, like, why did I go through that? Especially after God just said that He wanted to use me, like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would He put me through that? It was so dark, and then after that, one of my aunts, I won't say her name, she called me, or like, I don't know, I think I was hearing my mom talk to her on the phone, um, and I just would hear my mom say, like, oh, you're gonna get better, you'll get through this, just do that. And like, I remember asking my mom, like, is she okay? And my mom was saying, I think she's like being depressed, or whatever. And um, so I went over to her house and I started doing her hair, and I started telling her, like, what is this I'm hearing? Like, are you feeling okay? She just starts crying. She's like, I'm feeling this deep darkness, this sadness, and I don't know what's wrong with me. Everything that I was saying, I looked at her and I was like, you know what? Trust me. I promise you, you're gonna get through this. Like, you're okay. I swear to you, just keep doing. And I gave her like the advice that I did to like pull myself out of depression, and she was so grateful to me. Like, she was just like, thank you so much, Leanza, and she's she is okay now. She's awesome, So, anyway, so even just speaking to one person and changing and helping them go through that situation, it made me feel so good inside. Like, okay, like, God, if you wanted to put me through that situation just to, help one person out, I'm okay with that. Like, I feel good, So, um, you know, years passed by. That was my sophomore year of high school. I still was just like wondering if God was still like listening to me. But I mean, obviously I know that He did, but I wasn't sure if I was like still on His list of important people. I'm just kidding. But like, I was just wondering, like, oh, does He still want to use me? Um, just I want to say it was February of this year. I want to even say that it was Valentine's Day. Yeah, I'm not even sure if it was Valentine's Day again. But anyways, this year, um, I mean, I already knew I was pregnant. Another pastor from Las Vegas came to speak to our church at Visalia First Assembly again. And anyways, I went to church with my siblings. It was just me and my siblings. And we were sitting like somewhat in the front, but on the side. The pastor speaks out to me. This is a different pastor. And is just pretty much telling me, like, hey, God's still listening to you. Because I was praying to God, like, hey, like, are you still listening to me? Like, all this stuff. And I was I was still like not sure, how I felt about being pregnant, just all this different stuff. And then the pastor was just saying like, people love being around you. You're gonna do great things. Like God, God loves you. Like he said it like that. Like God loves you, and a lot of people love you. People love being around you. People love your spirit. Um, you have such a giving heart. God is noticing it. Like, don't, like, just because you're going through all this different stuff that you may feel right now, like, I promise you're going to be okay, and just seriously, I'm like, oh my gosh, God, you are amazing. So it was just crazy. I'm like, God, you listening. So I always know. I know whenever I pray, God is listening to me, and He's listening to your prayers as well. So don't ever give up. Don't ever lose hope. Whatever you may be going through, like you're gonna get through it. Like God can seriously move mountains. He made this earth. He was a creator of every single one of us. So it's like just don't ever lose focus. I promise you, like I swear to you, like I don't know how to get it through, but hopefully this message helped someone out there really and truly believe that, that God's just one phone call away. So, anyways, that's my story. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Something super personal. Not a lot of people know about it, but I mean, it's something to share. And I've always wanted to make a video about it. So, anyways, hope you guys all have a great day. I have to get ready for work, so see you guys later.